Hello, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm LaKendra Tooks, and it's time for Tooks Takes. It is always my hope and my prayer that here at Tooks Takes, we can always keep it light, keep it bright. We're all about letting our light shine, spreading love, spreading positivity, all the while talking a little smack about these silly little reality stars. And we got a lot to get into today. We're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to talk about, okay, here's the Housewives rundown. We're going to talk about Potomac. We're going to talk about Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is back. And we're going to talk about Salt Lake City. We are just going to boom, boom, boom our way through those because we also have to talk about, I got to tell you guys everything that happened at Chumpmas. If you're a chump, you know about Chumpmas. If you're not a chump and you're like, what the heck is Chumpmas? What the heck's a chump? Don't worry. You'll still be thoroughly entertained. I'm going to tell you everything that happened at Chumpmas. But first, let's talk about 90 Day Fiancé. So there's a new season of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. And I'm excited to talk about it. Let me tell you why. Back in the day, Ken's Day originated on another program, and on night one of Chumpmas, I ran into Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany, who I met at ChumpCon, and she's an old school member of the Ken's Day crew, and she was telling me, she's like, look, Kendra, the only reason why me and my husband started watching 90 Day Fiancé is because of you, because your recaps used to be so funny. Your recaps used to have us howling. So I said, you know what, girl, just for you, Tiffany, I'm going to start back watching 90 Day Fiancé. And it's right on time because this new season just started. There are a lot of couples. We're 2 episodes in. And let me tell you something. Let's just go with who has been the most memorable for me 2 episodes in. First of all, there is a young man from Oregon named Forrest. Forrest is 32, and he's a 32-year-old virgin. I'm thinking he's a virgin. I don't know if he outright said I'm a virgin. I think he said he's never kissed a girl before, which would lead me to believe he is likely a virgin, unless if you go to the brothel. I don't know at the brothel if they let you have a kiss or not. I don't know how brothels work. Let me tell you this, because he's a mama's boy. He's 32 years old, this kid. He's a mama's boy. He's got a girlfriend in the Philippines. They've been dating for 7 years. His girlfriend's name is Sheena. And baby, she's good as gold. Over there in the Philippines, Sheena has, and they, so they have, do you remember back in the day on 90 Day Fiancé, there was a couple, there was the American guy, he lived in a camper in his auntie's driveway. Remember him? I think his name was like Brandon or Brendan. He was dating the girl named Mary in the Philippines, and their thing was they're on the phone constantly. They are constantly on the phone, no matter what. They're on the phone. They're on the phone with each other like 24/7, whatever. So this couple, Forrest and Sheena, Forrest in his home, he's got a smart home. So he's got cameras everywhere. So Sheena can watch him. She can watch him sleep. She can watch him do anything, anytime she wants. So, and they've been together for 7 years. And okay, so the guy's a virgin. He's a mama's boy. His mom is going to go to the Philippines with him. After 7 years of just virtual dating, he's finally going to go to the Philippines to meet the love of my life, Sheena. All these mother effers talk about the love of my life. It's like, I'm sorry. I don't think the love of your life is someone you haven't met. You know what? I mean, I don't know. Love happens in all kinds of different ways. But I'm just thinking, when I think about the love of my life, I don't think it could be somebody that I've just been like talking to for 7 years. Like, I would need to see. Also, I don't understand how you do that. He's like, we finally saved up the money. Is Oregon expensive? What's the cost of living like in Oregon? Oh, well, let me tell you why he doesn't have any money. Because he doesn't have a job. Let me tell y'all what's going on with Forrest and Sheena. Because these two, excuse me. Get some water. Let me tell y'all what's going down. Let me tell y'all what's going on with Forrest and Sheena. Because Forrest is like, right now I'm unemployed. Now, y'all know I'm out here in these streets. I mean, I am in my whatever era right now, so I don't really care. But I do want to know what a guy does for a living. And if I ask an adult grown man, what do you do for a living? And he says, well, right now, done. Well, right now, no. We're grown. We're past well right now. And if the well right now is followed by I'm unemployed, no. So him and his mom are mad at Sheena because she's working so hard over in the Philippines, which I know she's working hard in the Philippines. The Philippines it's a tough place to make a living. I mean, I don't know. Please, I love the Philippines. I love Filipino people. Mabuhay. I don't know if the Philippines is classified as a third world country, but I do know it's a very poor country. So I think it's really effed up that the American guy is unemployed. The Filipino girl's out there busting her butt. In my mind, I'm like, what does she do for a living? We find out in episode 2 that she's a doctor. She's a veterinarian. This leads to the bigger conversation. As I'm watching 90 Day Fiancé, and I'm seeing a majority of these men on 90 Day Fiancé, they suck. And I feel like it's a part of the epidemic that's happening right now. Because remember last week, I was talking about how women right now, we just don't really like men right now. We're looking at the men like, I don't really like you, you know? And again, for the first time in history, I think we really have the guts and the wherewithal to say that, and to say it, to stand 10 toes down in it, like, dude, you suck. I'm better off, just hanging out with the girls and gays. Bye-bye. So I am so confused by these dynamics. How? And then his mom is like, she's giving all the money to her parents, and his mom is sending her really messed up texts. I cannot believe this. And the kid, he is not a kid. He's 32. 32 is grown. Why don't you have a job? Why are you expecting the Filipino girl in the third world country to make all the money and save it for you? That doesn't make any sense to me. And she has to give money to her parents. Yes, she has to give money to her parents. That's their culture. In their culture, yes, the kids stay home until they get married. Right? I do believe that is so. Well, maybe that's not necessarily the case, but I do know in Filipino culture, you take care of your family. And especially if this girl is a veterinarian, I hope she's making a decent living as a veterinarian in the Philippines. And I hope that she can help her family. And I know her family's looking at her like, you're dating this white American man. He ought to have some money. Why do you need to save money for him? So when they get to the Philippines too, she's going to have to be footing the bill for everything. You know who else is footing the bill for everything in their quest to meet the love of their life abroad? I think she's really pretty. This girl named Emma. Okay. Now Emma is dating this Moroccan guy named Zied. I like Emma. She's 27. She looks 45 because she's had a lot of work done already. But I like work done. I like lips. I mean, she's got these lips on her. She works at a med spa. Should I go work at a med spa? I would love to just have my hands, like have access to every single treatment out there. Because there's so many treatments out there. I need to go work at a med spa. Because I want access to every single treatment. So I like Emma. I think she's really cute. But Emma she's got a thing for Moroccan men because this guy Zied is not her first Moroccan man. She was previously engaged to a Moroccan man named Mohammed, but Zied doesn't know about that. So, okay, if you're an old school fan of 90 Day Fiancé, or even if you're just a human who exists and lives on earth, you know that how Muslim people, the Islam people, people who are really devout Muslims, they're not supposed to have premarital sex. They're not supposed to drink. And then in some of these countries like Morocco, the women are expected to dress conservatively. There's not going to be any PDA. You don't do that. Like the culture is different. And I feel like I have to say this every single season of 90 Day Fiancé. Can you do a little research before you go abroad? So this girl, Emma, she's a hot girl. She's got a hot bod. Her and this guy, they've been talking about sex. And I am Team Emma on this one because She's like, look, I'm a hot girl. I'm a sexy girl. I have just traveled all the way to Marrakesh. All the way to Marrakesh for some D. And this man is like, actually, we're going to sleep in separate bedrooms. Don't you know I'm a devout Muslim? And Emma's like, we never discussed that. And he's like, yes, we did. Maybe she just forgot. And I'm like, no, I believe women. I believe the woman, because I don't think this girl would have gotten on that flight to Marrakesh had she known that it's going to be a dry trip for her. You know what I mean? Like, she's ready to go there and like connect with this man romantically, sexually. And he's like, actually, no. I mean, that's not cool. Like, and then also, I mean, for people that are in long distance relationships, I've been in long distance relationships before. Now, when I've been in a long distance relationship in the past, me and my guy, we are on the phone for hours and hours and hours. And y'all know me. Y'all have seen me when I interview people. I'm Barbara Walters with a dash of Oprah and a dash of Diane Sawyer. Baby, I put you in the interrogation room. I'm asking everything, especially before I go abroad. And then this is another case of she's paying for everything. She's like, he's a nurse. He doesn't make a lot of money. A Moroccan nurse doesn't make a lot of money. And then also, I'm just like, as a man, how do you feel comfortable just letting a girl pay for everything? If I found out my brother was out here just letting girls pay for stuff, first of all, my dad might disown him. My dad would be like, you don't get to be a Tooks anymore. You got to change your last name to Thomas or something, because you can't do that. In the Tooks family, the men are men. Protectors and providers. There's no way you're going to fly all the way somewhere to visit me and then expect the woman to pay for everything. And I'm looking at Emma like, girl, you're a beautiful girl. What are you doing? Emma, if you're listening, baby, call me, because we got to get your self-esteem together. You can meet a beautiful guy. Maybe not beautiful. Well, maybe, actually, Emma, I might be joining you in Marrakesh. It is slim pickings right now in the United States. So listen, I understand if you got to go abroad, but I don't know. I'm really giving a lot of side eye to Zied. And, she didn't like the way he greeted her at the airport. And she had on this really cute dress. But the thing is, too, like, if you know that you're in, like, kind of a Muslim nation, honey, you can't have the girls out like that. You got to put the girls up. I'm not saying you got to put on a full-on, now I'm looking at my own boobies. How are they? I'm not saying you got to put on a full-on burqa, but you do have to dress conservatively. You can't put on one of your Fashion Nova fits in, Marrakesh. So I'm worried about them. And then we go from Marrakesh to Madagascar with, oh my God, what's the guy's name? Rick! Is it Rick or Rich? You know what? We're going to stick with Rick. If his name is actually Rich, we'll start calling him Rich next week. But today, he's going to be Rick. And Rick has a girlfriend named Tish. And Tish lives in Madagascar. Now, Rick says, now keep in mind, Rick is not a bad-looking man. Let me say that also. Rick, 52. 52, works out. Nice muscles. I mean, if I'm going to be with an older guy, Rick is physically the type of older guy I would get down with, because he is good looking. He's handsome, and he doesn't look 52. I thought he was only like 38. Like, when I was first looking at him, I was like, what is he, like 38? 52. But he has 5 kids. That's the problem, ladies. When you start going older with these men, they be having hundreds and thousands of kids out there. And it's like, ugh. Tish is a young, beautiful girl gallivanting around Madagascar. She doesn't want to be bothered with all those kids, and she wants to have kids of her own. And Rick's like, dude, I've already got 5 kids, and I'm 52, But, and now listen to this. There's always something, right? Now, Tish apparently ghosted Rick for a few days, like 5 days. And during that time, Rick did something. We're on a cliffhanger right now. 90 Day Fiancé, they love doing these cliffhangers. Rick's like, well, while she ghosted me for 5 days, I did do something, and it's haunting me, and I have to tell her I have to come clean. I'm like, Rick, what did you do? Please let it just be something easy, like, I don't know. I wore white after Labor Day, something like that, Rick. Please don't tell me that you have already. But at the same time, if she ghosted him, listen, if I don't hear from you for 1 day, 2 days, On the third day, I'm assuming if on the third day, if you haven't resurrected like Jesus, I'm gonna assume you're dead and you're in the tomb. So that's when I'm moving on with my life. So I'm not mad at Rick for moving on, but Tish might be mad at Rick for moving on. But I will say too, Rick and Tish, they had some really good sexual chemistry, at least from what I was seeing on the TV. It was starting to feel a little softcore, a little Skidamax. I was like, let me turn away. I'm trying to be a good Christian woman. Let me turn away. Okay, now who else is on 90 Day Fiancé this season? I had to grab my phone, y'all. I had to grab my phone because I'm like drawing a blank on some of these people's names. I got to tell you, some members of this cast are not that memorable, but that's okay. Now, Laura is 47. She has fallen in love with the love of her life, Berkan. His name is Berkan, and he's from Turkey. His name may be Birkin, but I don't think he can afford a Birkin because he's having some financial hardships. Now look at we got a little May December going on here. We got a May December because she's 47 and he's 26. That's quite a spread. Now, ladies, girls, gays, we are giving the youngins a chance, but that is quite a spread. And also, I think for us American girls and gays, if we are going to give a younger guy a chance, I think he does need to be in these continental United States. He needs to be in, or at least in North America. You know, maybe he's Canadian, maybe he's Mexican, but I wouldn't advise going abroad like this for a super young guy. Also, we've seen this happen time and time again on 90 Day Fiancé. This never works. But then I'm looking at Laura because Laura has this best friend named Michael, and they are besties. They do everything together. But they're not dating. There's no romantic anything. And Michael broke down because he's like, look, you're going to go to Turkey. You're going to be with this guy. If you need me to come there, I will book a last minute flight. I will be there for you. And now I was looking at Michael's face because he does have his nose is doing something weird. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, did he get mauled by a dog? Like what happened? And apparently, he breaks down. He's got a birth defect. And, Michael, I think you're still cute with that birth defect. But this is the case of looks aren't everything because Michael is such a great guy. And Michael, you and Laura already have such an amazing bond. Girl, what are you doing going all the way to Turkey for some young broke guy? You've got Michael right there and he loves you. And to me, when he broke down and started crying about that birth defect, she should have grabbed him in her bosom just like this. Y'all know I will hold a man in my bosom and say, baby, it's okay. Baby, I don't care if you had a birth defect. I don't care. Because right now, it's more like you have birthed an effect of my heartbeats because I love you. Like, that's what I would have done to make him feel better. But she was just like, yeah, I know, but I'm leaving for Turkey tomorrow. I don't know. I got low hopes for this girl, Laura. Let me see here. Who else do we got? Rick. We got blah, 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 blah. Now, we haven't met this couple yet, but we did see the previews for next week that we're going to meet this woman, Lisa. She's 51. She's got a Nigerian honey. He's 39. His name is Daniel. But I at least what I've seen in the commercials, it doesn't look like Daniel knows that Lisa has spent the last 21 years of her life as a lesbian. And y'all know over in Africa, a lot of the African nations, they are anti-LGBTQ LMNOP. So I think we see in the commercials that that's going to be an issue. La 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 la. And I think that's it. Great. So 90 Day Fiancé, the men suck. The women are awesome. And what else is new? Well, I'll tell you what else is new. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We just got a new season. We're 2 episodes in so far. And here's just my overview of what I'm seeing so far. What do y'all think about the new girls, first of all? Rachel Zoe, I love Rachel Zoe. Rachel Zoe's old school Bravo family. I love her style. I love her manner of speech. I love the way that she talks like this. But it is interesting now, too, to see her on her own without her now ex-husband, Roger. Because back in the day when she had her reality show, her and Roger, they worked together. They did everything together. So it's interesting now to see her on her own. And to get to meet her sons. I think her sons are so stinking cute. And to see her as a mom. I'm excited for that, to see Rachel as a mom, as a working mom. I'm excited for that. y'all. Now, last season, when I was first introduced to Bose Boma St. John, I was so excited about her because y'all know I love diversity on these housewife shows. Like, I was so happy that Garcelle was in Beverly Hills because guess what? There are very wealthy black people in Beverly Hills. So there should be some black ladies on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I was excited for Bose, also excited for her because she seemed to have such an amazing career pre-Housewives, which I really respect. But I've heard this tea now. There's a gentleman. He has a podcast and he has a YouTube, Kempire, Kempire, Kempire. Y'all check him out. I saw that he had been talking about how Bose has a reputation for being rude. I was listening to a clip from his show. He had somebody call in who is familiar with Bose from the corporate world and said that Bose is known for being so nasty and so rude, but then gets on stage and is like, you can achieve anything. Follow your dreams. They're saying that she is like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde because she switches up like that, which is kind of weird, kind of scary. And they also said, and I felt like this tracks, they said that Bose did not seem like interested in the black people, but only was interested in connecting with the white people. And for me, I kind of believe that because I expected her and Garcelle to bond a little bit more, just to have that black girl bond. Now, again, does that mean every black girl has to bond with every black girl? Absolutely not. We are not all the same. But when you're in a situation like you're on Housewives, or you're at work, or you're wherever you are living in America, and you're one of the few black people around, or one or two black people around, if I'm at a party and it's all white people, I see one black person over there, I'm gonna at least say, "Hey, girl," you know what I mean? So, but the worst, I've talked about this before, when you are a "Hey, girl" kind of girl, and you don't get that "hey girl" back, especially from a sister, it's just disheartening. It's disheartening and it's disappointing. So I was disappointed that Bose and Garcelle didn't connect. And I've been disappointed with the ladies and their lack of support for Garcelle throughout the seasons. Now, I think that Garcelle, her time was up. I did think it was time for her to go because she just could not seem to be, she didn't seem to gel with the ladies. And she wasn't willing to acquiesce to these women. Garcelle was like, look, this is who I am. This is what I think. This is what I believe. She wasn't afraid to speak her truth at the detriment of her relationships with these other women. And I feel like Bose is more like, she's seeing this as a business opportunity. She's like, I want to be on the show. I want to stay on the show. Let me make sure I've got a couple of allies. And then who Garcelle thought was her ally, Sutton. Sutton. You want to talk about who I'm disappointed in? Sutton. I'm disappointed in you. Me and Sutton both, we're from Georgia. So we're likely cousins in some way. I love Sutton, but I'm very disappointed in her treatment of Garcelle. It did seem like, and it does seem like, she values the friendships and the relationships with these other women more than she values the friendship of Garcelle. And even the way that they were speaking about Garcelle on episode 1, I really didn't like that. I didn't like how Dorit was like, do you think she saw your friendship as more of an alliance than a friendship? And it's like, no. Garcelle's not like that. Garcelle's cool. Garcelle is a lot like me. If I'm giving you my all, I want it back in return. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you owe me, but if I'm giving you loyalty, you do at least owe me that. And Garcelle always has Sutton's back, and Sutton never, and when I say never had Garcelle's back. And also, so I'm disappointed in Sutton. Because in Sutton, all her relationships are falling apart. I had to let Avi go. And she's very vague about why she had to let Avi go. And Avi, if you're listening, Avi, we need to get Avi on Tuxtec. Avi, I'm going to have my people call you because you are the people, Avi, okay? But so Sutton's relationships are falling apart except for a relationship with her mom. So that's good. It's like, okay, she lost a best friend in Garcelle. She lost a confidant and personal assistant in Avi, but at least she's got this relationship that's blooming again with her main mama, Miss RHOBH. And okay, now let's talk about Dorit. Because last season we saw Dorit get started with her divorce from PK. And she was letting us know that PK is not a good father, and she's sticking to that. This season, once again, she's like, look, he's not a good dad. He doesn't hang out with the kids. He's trying to make my life a living hell with the settlement and the child support and the. And I do feel bad for Dorit, and I feel bad for her children, because her children are at that age where I think they're 9 and 11. They're at that age where they know what's going on, but they don't know what's going on. They know that their dad's not there, but they're probably not really understanding why. And they're not, it's hard for a child to be able to understand that and process that. And I really hope that Dorit is getting counseling for her kids, because that's hard. That's hard. I mean, it's even hard for Kyle's daughters, and they're all grown. It's hard for them to see their dad gallivanting around in his whole era. And for these kids, and Dorit is the type of person who, I know I'm like that too. When I get stressed out, I don't eat. When I get stressed out, it's written all over my face. I can't hide it sometimes when I'm stressed out. And I know that Shaggy and Phoenix, kids, we're in tune with our mothers, just as our mothers are in tune with us. So when something's not right with our moms, it affects us. So that's why I look at the men, when you mistreat your child's mom, that hurts your child. So PK, get it together. I'm tired of PK standing for a parent, kinda. You know what I mean, PK? Step it up. And also, Kyle. Wait, before we get into Kyle, let's just quickly talk about Erica Jane. Yeah, Tom's gonna die in prison. But, Erica, I kind of feel like Erica's time might be up. Well, Erica, what new news do you have for us, okay? Erica, if you don't deliver something to us this season, Erica Jane, your time's up. Tick tock. Okay, and so let's talk about Kyle, though, because Kyle really gets on my nerves. I love Kyle, but Kyle gets on my nerves because she wants the ladies to do for her what she's never done for the ladies. She wants the ladies to be honest. And she's never been honest. She's not being honest. Why not just come right out and say, yes, Morgan Wade and I were out there being lesbians together. Boom, bow. Yes, we were doing it. Like, just say it. We all know it. Just say it, girl. Because she always wants to know everybody else's business. Kyle, tell us your business. And Morgan being like, well, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to be in the public eye. Girl, you're in the public eye. What do I always say? If you don't want us all up in your business, don't be on a reality show. Go work at the bank. Go work at the post office. Go sit down and do nothing, Kyle, because you got a lot of money. You want the fame. So if you want the fame, you got to take everything that comes with the fame. And you're on, and it's not like you're famous because of your talents. Now, if you're famous because of your talents, I don't need to know all your business. I don't need to know all of Lady Gaga's business. I was listening to a lot of Lady Gaga this weekend. I was doing the choreography for Judas. Judah. So I don't need to know all of Lady Gaga's business, because she's an actual, talented person. All I want her to do is sing and dance and entertain me. Kyle, as a reality star, I have a right to know all your business. Yes, I deserve it. It's my right as a Bravo fan. I need to know who you're dating. I need to know what your sexuality is. I need to know if you're on, if you're Zempin. If you're on the Glips, I need to know. If one season you're a size 8 and now all of a sudden you're a 2, I need to know the truth about how you achieved that. And then there's even more of Kyle. We saw this last season of Kyle just not being a girl's girl to her friend, Dorit. And once again, when Dorit is pouring her heart out to these ladies about how PK is treating them, Kyle is coming to PK's defense. I was screaming at the TV. Kyle, you are so not a girl's girl. It is just not cool. It's not right. And Kyle, I don't know. We need to see it. Kyle needs a reckoning. Kyle needs a takedown season. Ladies, don't let Kyle get away with this stuff. Now, let's quickly talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because the ladies just got to Greece. Their Greek week has just kicked off. And the ladies are still trying to get Meredith to be accountable for her horrific psychotic behavior on that plane. And how is there no footage? How is there no footage? There's got to be some footage. At the reunion, there's got to be some footage. I just saw a little bit of scuttlebutt online that Meredith Marks has removed Real Housewives of Salt Lake City from her Instagram little bio at the top. I don't know. I mean, I do agree with Mary Cosby that Meredith is a snooze. But maybe that's why she's a snooze, because she's taking too many sleeping pills, allegedly. But we're still just trying to get Meredith to have some accountability. We're not going to get it. We're trying to get Lisa to have some accountability. We're not going to get it. Instead, you know what we're going to get? Tears. And you know what, though? Let me say this. I need the ladies of Salt Lake City to get off Lisa Barlow's jock. Leave her alone. If she wants to get a Cartier watch, if she wants to have the brand new 2025 Porsche, if she wants glam and Saint-Tropez, let her do her. I love it. So let Lisa do Lisa. Get off Lisa's jock. And also, speaking of the Cartier watches, I did a quick Google. Because Heather and Whitney, they got their Cartier watch in duty free. They said it was $6,000. Now in duty free, there's no tax, right? Okay, but so if you go, I Googled Cartier watch. You can get the silver Cartier watch for only $4,000. I almost placed an order, but I think I'm gonna wait till I go through duty free and I'm gonna get me a gold one. So Lisa Barlow can talk about me too. I don't know. You know what this is? It's petty. And this is why Salt Lake City is so good. This is what we don't need deep. We don't need deep. We don't need dark. We need petty, fun shade. So ladies of Salt Lake City, get off Barlow's jock. Ladies of Potomac, get off Stacy's jock. They are on Stacy's jock so hard. It doesn't make any sense. It truly makes no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like Stacey, if there's anyone who is like literally harmless, it's Stacey. Leave Stacey alone. I love Stacey. But they're also on Angel's jock. Now, is Angel a little bit boring? Is Angel lacking in the personality department and the fun department a little bit? Yes. But this is her first season. She's kind of a new mom. She's getting her bearings. I don't like how the ladies were trying to say that she got evicted from her home. She didn't get evicted. They want her to be broke and evicted and want her husband to have a temper so bad. I was so mad at Ashley the imp talking about, oh, I think Angel's husband has a temper. Are you kidding me? Your baby daddy took his temperature up the butt. Let's just say that. Yeah, I said it. Gollum. You got 2 babies by Gollum, and one of the kids does look like John C. Reilly. Somebody said that online, and I can't unsee it now. Like he looks like Michael and John C. Reilly had a baby together, which Michael would probably love that. Michael Darby would probably love. Well, we already know he wants to roll in the hay with Juan Dixon. And the ladies are giving Angel, speaking of the Dixon family, the ladies are giving Angel such a hard time about having to move out of her rental. I don't believe she got evicted. I do believe it was a miscommunication. These things happen. Do I believe she got the house to be on the show? Maybe. So what if she did? Let me tell you something. If the Real Housewives of anything says LaKendra Tux, we're thinking, I'm going to go rent a house too. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to be on these shows. You know? So it's like, if Angel did do that, so what? Why do you care, Giselle? Giselle is such a miserable, nasty, hateful lady. She cannot stand to see other happy couples and other happy families. She has to come in there and be like, oh, you got kicked out of your house. The streets are saying you got kicked out of your house. Girl, please. She's renting because she wants to wait and find a beautiful home. Everybody doesn't want to move into a teardown like you. A horrifically decorated teardown with a gravel driveway like you, Giselle. You're talking about somebody else's house? Girl, bye. And Ashley, you're talking about somebody else's husband? The imp and the bandit. I'm at a loss for words on them two. The Imp definitely, Ashley the Imp. If this isn't Ashley the Imp's last season, y'all, we're going to ride it on. Ashley's done. She's bringing us nothing on her own. And then for her to not know, I get it. Maybe you don't know the whole words to the Black National Anthem, but Ashley didn't even seem to know that we had a Black National Anthem. So between being married to Gollum, having babies by Gollum, not knowing about the Black National Anthem, Imp, by Imp, by Imp. And that's all I got to say about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, let's talk about let's talk about a little chump news, okay? Because we've Chumpmas. We had 2 nights of Chumpmas. It was so much fun. If you were there, let me say this too, because I saw some people online saying, I was at Chumpmas night 1. It looks like Chumpmas night 2 was better, was more fun, was this, was that, more chumps were there. Guess what, y'all? Both nights were really good. I don't want you to feel cheated or shortchanged if you were only at night 1, because night 1 was really good. Night 2, both nights were really good. And I'm telling y'all, here is the solution to make sure that you don't miss out on anything. Come to both nights. Come on, come to both nights. Come to night 1, come to night 2, come to both nights of Chumpmas. Because it's fun. Why not? Just come to both nights. Then you don't have to miss out on anything. Then you get everything. Now, there was a little bit of drama on night 2. Now, I got there. First of all, okay, let me give y'all the play-by-play. Chumpmas is at the Brea Improv, which is all the way in Brea. I still don't know where Brea is. I literally just put Brea Improv in the GPS and drove. In traffic, it's definitely, it's far. Now, when you're driving home at night, out of traffic, back to LA, it's only like 30 minutes. But getting there in the traffic, it's a cool 90 minutes. Really almost 2 hours. So I got there and I went to visit my Auntie Amy. Hey, Auntie Amy. And she had a makeup artist. I was going to let her makeup artist just throw my lashes on for me real quick. I mean, of course, y'all know, I LaKendrify myself all the time, but I just wanted to say hey to Auntie Amy. She had a really cute Airbnb and I wanted to see it. So I got there at like 4:30. I needed to be at the Brea Improv by 5:15, but it's only 10 minutes away. But then I get a call from Jeff. LaKendra, we need you. LaKendra, we need you to be here right on time at 5:15 because we need you to lead us in a prayer. Now, y'all know I am the prayer warrior, okay? So I had to hurry up and get there. I said, lady, hurry up and get these lashes on me. I got to go. Auntie Amy, I will see you there. I got to go. Because when the boss man says we need a prayer, the prayer warrior is going to get there. So I was moving and grooving. I had to hurry up and get there because I'm the prayer warrior. So I got there. And I'm glad I got there when I did because chaos was erupting and ensuing. Something was going on with Pola 2, and Ryan Bailey. Okay. Now, let me start off by saying this. I love all the chumps. I love Patrick and Pole. Patrick and Pole are actually 2 of the first chumps I ever met. I met Patrick and Pole before I even met Jeff, before I ever did Jeff's show. I met Patrick and Pole backstage at the Crappies. Ronnie and Ben. Hey, Ronnie and Ben of Watch What Crappens. They do their award show, The Crappies. I was there. I met Patrick and Pole. They were so sweet. They were so kind. They invited me to be on their podcast. They invited me and my now ex-boyfriend to an Oscars party. I love Patrick and Pole. I also love Ryan Bailey. So I don't like seeing people that I love have an altercation. Now, apparently, the altercation stems from those of you, and Ryan Bailey has his incredible podcast, So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. And Patrick and Pole, they have their show, Gowning Out, in Beverly Hills. So Ryan Bailey's fiance is pregnant. She's having her baby shower next month. A lot of us have been invited. Apparently, Patrick and Pole were not invited. Long story long, apparently when Patrick and Pole met Ryan's fiance in the past, they may have offered her, I know that they do have a plug for the Glips. Y'all know about the Glips, the GLP-1s. So they do have a plug for the Glips. And it sounds like they may have offered her their plug for the Gyps. Now, the gyps, not the gyps, the glips. So Patrick and Paul may have offered her their plug for the glips. Now me, I love a procedure. If somebody was like, girl, I'm going to offer you my plug for the glips, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, text it to me. But again, I'm different, and this is somebody who she's coming in. These are her man's people. These are not even her people. So I can understand where she's coming from, but I also know that Patrick and Paul meant no harm by it. You know, they are the type of people, if they can, I know that a lot of people, they're polarizing characters. A lot of people think they're grifters, this, that. I don't see that at all with them. I think they're very wonderful, loving people. And if they can do anything to help you, they will. Like if I need something and I don't know where to get it, I guarantee you I can reach out to Patrick and Paul. They're going to help me figure it out because they know everybody around here, you know? So Paul was very upset. I never seen Paul get upset like that. And I was over there. I was nervous. I'm like, what's going on, guys? And I said, you know what? Let us pray. We needed to pray. Now, and then let me also say this too. I understand Patrick and Paul being upset if they're not invited to the baby shower. Nobody hates being not invited to stuff more than me. Now, I'm also notorious for inviting myself places. But, like, you know how it is on your wedding day? It's all about the bride. On your wedding day, you cannot invite somebody to the wedding that the bride does not want there. Wedding day is all about the bride. Pregnant woman having a baby shower is all about the mama. If the mama says, you know what, I don't want to invite that person, great. We're not inviting that person. Let me tell you something, Ryan Bailey, if you're listening right now. If your fiance says, you know what, I listen to the latest Tux Takes and I don't want LaKendra there, guess what? I won't come. I will still send a gift because I would never want to upset a pregnant woman, you know? So I understand being upset about not being invited and not understanding why you're not invited. But I also understand where Ryan's coming from. That's his baby mama and his fiance. He's got to keep her happy and healthy. You know what I mean? You don't want to be stressing out a pregnant lady because that stress goes directly to the baby. You don't want that baby in the womb getting stressed. So that happened. The show starts. The show's going great. Opening number was amazing. Toddy and Tooksy, we killed it once again. Once again, we killed it. Chump. The whole show's going amazing. My baby Joey Zauzig is there. Now, I love Joey Zauzig so much. Once again, a polarizing character. I think all of us chumps are polarizing in some way, right? So I love Joey. I love his Instagram. I love how he's always like, babe, let me tell you something. They never leave you for someone better. They only leave you for someone easier, babe. You're going to run into somebody better with a bigger, you know what, and a bigger bank account, and they're going to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. I love Joey, okay? Joey got into it with Annie a little bit. I don't even exactly know why. Now, Jeff talked about it on the show. I think it was just a miscommunication. I think, and you know what? When you have a miscommunication mixed with cocktails, it's a recipe for disaster. So they had a little tiff. But here's the thing, too, that I need those of you who are the Chump fans to understand about the Chump co-hosts. We are a dysfunctional family. We might fight. We might cuss each other out, scream each other out. We might cuss each other out, scream each other out. We might have a knockdown, drag out. But we still love each other. So, because it's a family. You know how it is with family. I can talk about my mama, but you can't talk about my mama. Me and my brother, we can say, yeah, our mom gets on our nerves sometimes. But, you know, my brother got married. His wife is not allowed to chime in and be like, yeah, me too. We'll be like, what? Don't be talking about our mama like that. So that's how it is with us, too, as the chumps. With each other, we may have a disagreement. May have a fight, but that's family business. You know what I mean? We may have a fight, but we're going to get over it because the show must go on. The show must go on. So even if there is a beef, even if there is a disagreement, we still love each other and we're going to get through it. So that means sometimes don't get involved with it. Don't get involved. Because if there's a tiff going on internally, it'll get worked out. Like, of course, everybody wants the gossip. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants that. But I feel like sometimes it's like, you know what? The co-hosts will work it out. Okay, so we had Chumpmas. great success. I had so much. This was my first Chumpmas. And I had so much fun. I'm excited for the next one. I'm excited to, I don't know what's going to happen with ChumpCon, but I am really excited, and I hope that we could start getting to work on ChumpCon very, very soon. I'm so grateful to Jeff that he's, been letting me help more, letting me using my talents. I feel like there's been so many times throughout my career where I've worked places and it's like, use me. Use all my talents. I do a lot of stuff. I have the gift of gab. I love to write. I'm funny. I have so many things that I love, and I'm a prayer warrior. I have so many things that I can do, and honestly, I will toot my own horn, beep, beep, toot, toot, and say I am good at the things that I do. So I'm very grateful to Jeff for giving me the opportunity to do more stuff and to help with shows and live shows and things like that. And the Tooks takeaway is also, this holiday season, hold on to your family a little tighter. Squeeze your family a little tighter. If they're here and they're healthy, definitely make sure that you show your family a lot of extra love this holiday season, because let me tell you, what the world needs now more than ever is love, sweet love. And as always, and extra always right now during this holiday season, I hope and pray that my light helps you find your light and you shine so bright. Make sure that you follow us on social media at LaKendra Tooks, at Tooks Takes. Leave us a review. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. This podcast has been one of the greatest blessings of my year, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And before I start crying, I am going to get out of here, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.